the creativity and the songwriting, and I loved every part of it. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song.
For sure.
And I think it's a perfect theme for our show tonight, which I decided to call Court Dates and Ankles. It's so apropos because that is exactly what has been going on with Paloma for Trump, aka Paloma Zuniga. For those of you who don't know, I have been doing a reporting on many frauds, phonies, scoundrels, liars, exposing fraud, exposing graft, exposing all of these folks for years now. And Paloma Zuniga is one of the latest. Tonight on my show, Court Dates and Ankles, I'm going to break down lie by lie every single thing wrong with the latest of her antics involving restraining orders and court. I'm going to break all of that down for you tonight on my show, Mexican Crossing Lines, with your hosts, Cindy Gomez-Schempp
and Duke Gomez-Schempp.
Here on 88.1 FM, KPPPLP, Fargo, Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. And tonight on this super chat, I want to thank all of you who have diligently collected information and sent it our way, who follow us, share our shows on social media, and who support the work of independent reporters doing investigative journalism like a Mexican Crossing Lines, like 88.1 FM, because without you, we wouldn't have the ability to do this programming. And Duke, how can folks follow us?
Oh, they can follow us many ways. And I do have to thank, there's been a person that's been sending cards and a donation every month to us. And thank you. You know who you are. And we really appreciate that. Your support is very, very valuable for us in our work because we are a nonprofit, non-commercial, community-run radio station in Fargo, Moorhead. We do live streams. We're doing live streams on Duke 1517 on YouTube. And we also do live streams on our Facebook page, 88.1 FM Fargo, Moorhead. We also have another page called the People's Press Project and Mexi-Can. You can get a hold of us through those Facebook pages. If you'd like to just do an old-fashioned email, you can email Cindy at kpppfm.com or me, Duke at kpppfm.com. You can also tweet us at media_PPP. Also, you can go to kpppfm.com. That's where we take the shows that we do our live streaming. We put them on our webpage, too, and you can look under Mexican Crossing Lines or under Archives and find the shows there. Also see the other work we're doing in our radio community here in Fargo, Moorhead. We take the shows, we put them on there. Sometimes we take the audio and we produce them locally. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes these shows can't be broken down. There's too many swear words in it. We're doing radio, which the FCC limits on swearing and other content, but some go up and some don't. But you can find all of our shows at kpppfm.com. Also, if you'd like to support us with a tax-deductible donation, go to kpppfm.com/donate. Make a donation. Your support is very valuable. You've helped get us to where we are today, and we have a strong year ahead of us. And enjoy the show tonight. It's a doozy.
Oh, my God. I have so much material. I am going to be doing 3 shows on this topic.
Yep.
Just on the latest information about what Paloma Zuniga has done. And the reason for that is because it is invaluable for all of the past and future victims of this woman, and there are many. I have interviewed a whole host of people that have come forward, and believe it or not, more and more people come forward every day. Duke, you heard me talking to one of the victims just yesterday on the phone.
Yes, I did.
Had a lengthy conversation, and a lot of these folks do not want to go live. They do not want to share their stories. The pain, the emotional trauma that was caused to them, the harassment that they endured, the frauds that they went through, the extortion that they experienced, they do not want to bring it to light, but they do want to thank us. They do call and thank us. They want to donate, they want to support our work, and they want to thank us. Why? Because they now do not feel alone. Because now they understand why and how this woman has been able to get away with the horrible things that she does to dozens and dozens of victims. And if you haven't been paying attention, my investigative reporting goes to finding con artivists that we found here in North Dakota going back to 2016. I didn't think I would be focusing exclusively on exposing all of these con artivists and showing you how they operate, but they have been on my radar ever since they were here. And I watched how they put themselves in the limelight for the wrong reasons, how they lied to their audiences, how they extorted money out of people, how they violated people, how they harassed people. And then I started seeing them in Mexico. And that's when Paloma Zuniga came onto my radar. I found her eerily connected to many of the people from the American Antifa connected activism that was organizing and manipulating the members of the caravan in 2018. And from there, I began to collect information. At that time, I had a number of people, most of them women, who had reached out to tell me that they had been victimized by this person. But there was also a whole host of people that were sending me information about her live streams, and I was watching who she interviewed, how she translated, who she spoke to, the spokespeople for the caravan. She had numbers for that she contacted directly. The known Pueblo Sin Fronteras Smuggler, Christina, who she called Sonia Vargas, that she was friendly with. The drug and smuggler and weapons smuggler being investigated by the FBI for arming Antifa activists of the Border Support Network, Ivan Riebling. Her connections to a lot of the activists that were in the vicinity and members of the caravan. And this is where I began to report. But the more I started sharing stories of her background, of what she has been involved in, making a name for herself by attacking conservatives in this country. Almost every single victim of hers has been a conservative. She has put a dent, and I mean a serious dent, in people that are the lives of Trump supporters. That is what she is. She is akin to a wrecking ball in the lives of many of these Trump supporters. Some of them are active. Some of them are simply conservatives concerned about what's happening at our border, or concerned about what's going on with the caravans. But the whole of all of her victims are people that she claims she is in league with, that she is supposed to be an ally to, and that she represents as a Trump supporter herself. And she also became viral in Mexico, especially for pushing a migrant kid at the border and then admitting that she made him pee his pants. This woman was part of the propaganda machine that helped generate sympathy for migrants in the caravan and hatred for Trump supporters, especially Latino Trump supporters, such as the case of one of her recent victims of a restraining order, her vexatious litigation that she likes to do, slapping restraining orders on anybody that would dare to expose what she has done to them publicly. And I'm speaking of Mary Tando Quintanilla. As you know, about a week ago, I reported that Mary Tando Quintanilla had gotten a restraining order against this woman because she has been non-stop threatening and harassing her since the day that she bravely decided to appear on my show. And I want to make clear for the record, I reached out to Mary Quintanilla. I reached out to many of the victims of Paloma. And I spoke to all of these individuals as I learned more about what she has done in the past. I was told stories about her so-called activism, her so-called campaigning, and I say so-called because, as you know, from the show that I did about her campaigning for conservatives in Colorado, the group of people she was with managed to do property damage to the cabin they were staying at and shut down a school.
Yeah.
a children's elementary school.
Mm-hmm. So
this is a clown car full of narcissistic, codependent, and very seriously deranged individuals, in my opinion, and from everything that I have been able to see. As you will recall, I've also done a number of shows where I have exposed audios in which she admits to stalking people and then shows gleefully shares the restraining order she takes out against the people she stalks, that she is obsessed with. This is her modus operandi. And she has been doing this to so many people for so long. I believe that she thinks that nothing and no one will ever expose her or stop her. But I am here to tell you that as long as we are programming on this show, we will continue to expose lie after lie after lie of Paloma Zúñiga's, and we will document every little bit of it because it needs to be exposed. So folks, let me start by sharing with you the nightmare that has been the life of Mary Quintanilla and her granddaughter, her adult, let me remind you, her adult disabled nonverbal granddaughter. The very same that has traveled with her, that has been at events, that has been cared for by Paloma Zúñiga in Mary's home, that has visited with Paloma over the holidays when, you know, Paloma and her husband stayed at Mary's house. So it was not sufficient for Paloma Zúñiga to have attacked Mary for coming forward and telling the truth on my show. She has also made vicious attacks against her granddaughter. And for that reason, Mary found herself needing to acquire a restraining order, and it was granted initially and upon hearing. In the next 4 months, Mary will have to return to court to give more information to the judge if she needs to continue to restrain Miss Paloma Zúñiga in order to keep herself and her granddaughter safe. By the looks of the antics and the behavior of this erratic woman, Paloma Zúñiga, who loves to vexatiously litigate against anyone who dares to tell the truth about what and who she is, I would guess, if I was a betting woman, she's going to need to continue that restraining order, because the reason why, let me just be real clear about the reason why this is happening to so many people. Michael Shapiro, Fabiana Baldo, all of you out there that have had to deal with this person, who many of you have described as being psychotically obsessive, is that she wanted to be close to you. She wanted your wealth, your life, your travel, your social media followers, your skills, your beauty, your career that she can never have. She has glommed onto, like a parasitic leech, the lives of all of those around her, which she would like to emulate and have. And since she has social paralysis, she has no ability to socialize normally. After a period of time of being in close proximity to this person, she lets the crazy out. She lets her freak flag fly, and everyone becomes aware, oh no, I have Silence of the Lamb on my hands. Oh no. Oh no. I thought this person was just a normal person, but it turns out I have single white female on my hands. And then, of course, these folks, many of whom are experiencing these harassments, stalkings, and threats in isolation, they start to look around. They start to hear through the grapevine, oh my gosh, this is what she does. This is her career. This is what she spends every moment of every day doing. Making memes, calling, threatening, harassing. Because she has no job. She has no job. She has stated this in court. Unless she was perjuring herself at the time that she said it, she has made it clear she's unemployed. She keeps telling you she's a businesswoman. She ain't. The only thing she knows how to sell is lies and maybe her nalgas. Perhaps. I've spoken to some people, and Mary also heard that she exchanges sex for goods and services. Prostitution? Sounds like prostitution. Mm-hmm. By the way, she does this right under the narices of her cuckold husband, and he doesn't flinch. He doesn't bat an eye. So that's why I have referred to him as a pimp. Because the person that drives the prostitute to the John, that makes the arrangements on the phone, that's the pimp, right? That's the job of the pimp. So that's why I have referred to him that way. But he's also her partner in crime. He's also her partner in crime. He knows what she does, and he's there for that. He's there to support it. Mary came on my show, and I want this to be on the record, at my insistence. For all the haters out there that wanted to hate on Mary when she first came on the show, and to the other victims, the hate that they showed them, let me just tell you, I convinced those folks to come on my show. Many of them still won't, never will come on my show because they don't even want to hear her name. Hearing her name makes them nauseous, makes them sick, makes them vomit. That is how destructive and damaging this woman has been in the lives of many people. They don't want to have anything to do with her. None of the people that have come on my show initially said, yes, can I come on your show, please? And I was very wary of those that did. Mm-hmm. I thought, But I'll tell you what, I convinced Mary that it was the right thing to do, to tell the truth, to expose it, because a lot of other people needed to know what she does and how she does it.
And for the people that come on the show, I mean, it takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of time to develop trust, to actually talk through what's happened to them and to think about what they want to reveal to the rest of the world. I mean, I commend those people because it takes a lot of gumption. It takes a lot of strength to be able to come forward when you've been bullied, when you've been harassed. And then Paloma turns around and says that she's the one being harassed. She's the victim. So all the people that have come on the show and are going to come on the show, there's a lot of time invested, a lot of time really developing what they want to say. And that trust has to be there, and it's very therapeutic. I mean, it's a processing to actually speak out loud and knowing that they're going to get some sort of retaliation. They're going to get this vile anger towards them, and the trolls will go after them. They still do it because they have prepared themselves and they've committed themselves to getting this truth out. And I want to thank all of you who have done that, and also the people in the future that will continue to do this.
So I'm going to break down for you what happened in order for Paloma to be served. It turns out that there was an event, a Lexit event, that, as Mary has shown in the past, she goes to these events. She has even helped to organize certain events on behalf of conservatives. And she had tickets to this Lexit event. And she also heard there was a possibility that Paloma would be there, and she needed to serve her with a restraining order. So one of the people that went with Mary to the event, one of the other people that were ticket holders at this event, was the one that actually had Paloma served. She went to the security door where the people are in the back, like the green room place where speakers are at. Stealthily, Paloma had her name removed from any announcements of who would be speaking at this event so that people would not know that she was at the event. But then Mary heard she was actually at the event. How? Well, at this event center, they piped the sound in every part. There's speakers on the outside of the building, so if you went outside to stand outside to have a smoke, you could still hear what was going on at the podium.
Yep.
If you went to the John, you could still hear. And that is exactly what happened. Mary realized Paloma was there. She never saw her. They never crossed paths. They never spoke to each other. Mary did not have any contact whatsoever with Paloma at this event. But she heard she was there, and she knows that the woman that was with her served her the papers. And I'm going to show it to you all. First, I want to share this video where Mary is at the event listening to the voice of Paloma over the speakers and confirming that indeed she's here. Let's listen.
I realized, wow, something is happening in California that I don't like. We're starting to get stray dogs in LA. We're starting to get stray dogs in LA, which is something that I find in Mexico. We're starting to, the streets are dirty. There's no, I used to walk barefoot. Like, that was what I loved about America. The police wasn't the same, things were changing.
Are you guys listening? Oh my God.
This is when
she's a speaker on Lexit. Unbelievable.
I'm going to turn on right now as we speak. And
Wow.
What do you think of what she was? Did you hear the nonsense? How does anybody have her speak on any topic? She was talking about stray dogs. I see stray dogs everywhere. She's like that M. Night Shyamalan kid. I see dead people. Está loca? That's all she thinks about. The diarrhea that comes out of her mouth, the lies that she talks about, are the world that she lives in. Just like DJ Fat Gut for Fraud's 35 Dogs song. She's got 35 dogs. So, of course, all she can think about is comparing in her speech about why she is, worried about the United States. She's talking about stray dogs?
Yeah, I guess.
What do you think about this as a speaker for any kind of political party, but even more so for Latinos?
Yeah, because, she's not a good representative for Latinos. And, someone like that, I can't believe the Lexit team is so scrambling for speakers that they would put her on, because she's lost a reputation that she really didn't have in the first place, and they're propping her up by having her go. I looked at the Lexit event and I didn't see her name on anything, and I thought, well, that's odd, because it was like real close. It was in like San Diego, and real close to Tijuana, and it's like I thought she'd be boasting about going there, but you're right, she is about to be served by so many people.
Oh no. And Duke, she knew she was going to get served because she's constantly harassing and threatening people. There's a whole bunch of people seeking to serve her.
That's right. They're all standing in line, So as soon as she announced someplace she's going to be.
That's why she couldn't.
But that just bugs her so much, because she wants to tell everybody, I'm speaking here, I'm speaking there, I'm speaking here. And she just goes all nebulous.
Oh.
I'll be speaking in the future someplace.
You are right about that. She definitely wants to brag. Only person she's bragging to about that these days is the judges in the courthouses that she has to appear in all the time. And she uses it as an excuse. Your Honor, you can't put a restraining order on me. I got to get to the White House.
Yeah.
Me and the president are like this. We're so close. He needs me at the White House. You put a restraining order on me, I won't be able to get into the White House.
Yeah.
This is the nonsense that she used in court against Mary. Fortunately, the judge did not listen to her nonsense and gave Mary a restraining order. But about the Lexit people, I don't know. I think maybe Lexit and its leadership are really an institution of Latinos out to make all Latinos that follow Trump look like morons and criminals, because that is exactly what I see. And by the way, Mary says to me that one of the things that she did while she was at this event is she had with her in her possession, based upon the restraining order that she got, the initial one as well as the continuing one, posts, messages, things that Paloma had said and done with regard to Mary and her granddaughter. And she wanted to speak to some of the Lexit leadership representatives and say to them, hey, your representative, your spokesperson is committing harassment. You might want to know about the fact that almost exclusively your spokesperson, one of your spokespeople, harasses other Trump supporters, specifically Latinos like myself. And guess what? The guy lost his mind. He, and as well as the other guy in the Lexit group, have been approached by a number of people. And their response not only has been not to do anything to address the problem, but to be aggressive and threatening in their responses. And in the case of Mary, it was no different. Here is the next video in which she refers to her conversation with Jesse Olguin and how he had her removed. He told his security he lost his mind, according to Mary, started screaming, and then asked security people to kick her out. Thankfully, Mary did not even attempt to show anybody in the Lexit thing, at the Lexit event, anything until the Lexit event was done. She was there for the event, regardless of whether or not Paloma was there.
She wasn't there to disrupt it.
So she waited until the end. And so when they had her removed, the whole thing was over anyhow. So Holguín, again, Mary never interacted with Paloma at all. After she was in her car, she started videotaping what was going on in front of her car. But let me show you this next video where she talks about what happened.
There's my car. And Jesse had me kicked out. I said, hi, I'm Mary Quintanilla. I want to introduce myself to you, and I want to just take 2 minutes of your time to talk to you and show you some posts that Paloma made about me on her page. And he got all upset. He called security, said, I don't want to hear it, and he had me kicked out. And I just seen her walking around with the camera. She told security that she wants to talk to me. I'm just listening to the event because I got kicked out. But you can hear up here, there's speakers. There's speakers up here. So I can hear the event. I think it's over. It's over. Everybody's leaving. Okay, well, I had my camera on because she supposedly wants to talk to me. But Jesse Holguín had me kicked out of the Lexit event.
So you see people are leaving there.
Yeah.
And she says, I think it's over. It's over. She literally started filming and talking about what happened when she was kicked out. And when they called security and told her to leave, this is what she recorded. She shows she has a restraining order there at the beginning.
What is your name? What is your name? I'm not allowed in here. What is your name?
Please.
What is your name, sir?
She has to go.
The
That doesn't
guards,
bother me.
I'm being escorted from Lexit.
you see that both of the security guys are smiling.
I was talking to the guy that started Lexit, and I wanted to show him something. I have some post about the lady who's just on the stage. She's been harassing me. I'll put it on me. She's been harassing me. I wanted to film him, the guy that started with Lexit. We gotta go. Here's my car. So I'm right. What happened? So I came to Lex. Okay.
So anyway, you could see there was no throwing out.
Yeah.
As Paloma has stated in videos that she made. We'll listen to her crazy version of events in just a moment. Because I'm going to show you she's a liar that lies. It's all she can do is lie. As lie and lie and lie, embellish and lie. So there was no throwing out. There was no, those two security people were not threatening, pushy. They didn't lay hands on her. They were both smiling.
Yeah, it's like an escorting you out, and she's like, I need an explanation. What's going on? No, you just have to go. You just have to go. You know.
Right, and she was just explaining to them at the end there why they were even called to tell her to leave. But again, as you heard, this happened literally at the end of the event, when the event was over. You even hear on the speakers out, as she's walking out, that the people at the podium are telling everyone to leave. You hear that?
Yep.
You got to get out. You got to get out. Everybody heard it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then Mary gets into her car. The woman that Mary had her granddaughter there too.
Okay.
She also had a friend with her who also brought her daughter. So Mary had her granddaughter, her friend had a daughter with her, and they got into their vehicle. They purchased some food, which they were going to eat in the car before leaving the event. And since their car was parked right outside, they were sitting in their car eating their food when they saw this.
So I have to videotape this because they called the cops. I'm sitting in here with Jasmine and my babysitter and her daughter. And the cops are right there. They called the cops on me. Because we got some food. We're getting ready to leave. And they called the cops on me.
I want to talk to the police.
You want to talk to police? Mm-hmm. We're here with Jasmine.
Get out and say our story too?
Yeah, we're here with Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here with you and your mom.
They don't want to hear the truth.
We're not doing anything wrong. We came to Lexa. I have 3 tickets for Lexa.
They called the cops for us for no reason.
I know. They called the cops for us for no reason. There's her husband. That's her husband.
Who?
Right there in the red hat. There is Paloma's husband.
Oh, she's married?
Yeah, she's married.
Where's the meat?
I don't think we got the right burrito. It's very dry.
There's Paloma's husband. They called the police.
Wow.
They're all talking about me. There's her husband. Oh my gosh, they called the cops on me. Oh my gosh, we're at the church too. It's called Awaken Eastlake Campus Church.
Hypocrite.
There he is. There's her husband.
There he is.
Did they leave, the cops?
You know what? We'll just videotape her coming out to show proof that we were here to serve her too. So the cops left. Why did they leave?
Because they can't do anything. You didn't do anything illegal.
Thank goodness I'm in my car.
Yeah, the only way they can call the cops on you for trespassing is if you're asked to leave and then you go back to their property.
Oh.
Once you've left, then you're not on their property.
Yeah.
You're not back in their...
Well, why did the cops leave?
Because they're like, probably we can't do anything.
Because they can't do anything.
Yeah, wasting their time.
But let me just tell you, okay, first of all, out of the babes, right? The little girl in the car is like, they called the cops for no reason. Exactly, little girl. Even a child can see that Paloma's call to the cops is bogus. She got served and she got pissed. And then she decided she would get even. I'm going to go and call the police and tell them I was the one being harassed right now. And then she turned around and used that as the basis to get a restraining order against Mary, to retaliate because she was so angry that Mary took action to stop her harassment. If you dare to stop Paloma from harassing you, it is her God-given right to harass, stalk, threaten as many people as she wants for as long as she wants. And if you dare to try to put an end to the harassment, she's going to get revenge. She's going to get revenge against you. Also, I want to just pause for a minute to thank our supporter, Stephanie. Thank you for your support. To our super chat, she says, sights, sees, and eats an idle mind. Devil's Workshop. Yes. Yes. She's got too much time on her hands.
That's right. Thank you, Stephanie.
The latest thing that we saw that was circulating on Paloma's page is they watched an older video where you were wearing your Guatemala shorts in the video.
Yeah, it was really hot this summer here. You know, in the studio we have these lights, and it gets overwhelming.
Really hot.
And we don't run fans because they make too much noise for the audio. But
right, we can't run any fans because it makes noise and it messes up our audio in the studio. So Duke, who is well, you know, you got a lot of testosterone and you got a lot of hair on your body. I'm just saying, okay. He was wearing his shorts, not his boxer shorts, but a lot of people said that they were his boxers, although I think you look cute in all of your shorts. But you know what, folks? If you want to chip in into the super chat right now, we will get this man some pants.
Yeah,
okay?
Get me some pants. Yeah, and then I won't have to walk around in my Guatemalan shorts anymore when it's hot.
Okay, folks. So the ridiculous Paloma Zuniga, at the end of the event, when everyone is leaving already out, when the person she claims is harassing her is already in her car, Paloma calls the cops. And of course, they stand outside, Jean does, with the security people, talking about Mary and what happened. So, one of the officers, and you're going to see this because we have the pictures here, comes over and talks to Mary, and Mary is able to ask questions about what happened because they were called to the scene and they didn't know what the heck was going on. Listen to this next video in which we confirm, because Paloma walks out to see her evil deed done. She wants to see, and she's walking around on what looks like some stilts. I mean, I realize the woman is short, but these are crazy high heels. And I say it's crazy because she's recently complained about injuring her ankle horribly. And I don't know how you do it, how you go in high heels as big as these high heels are. I mean, these are stripper heels, okay, folks? I'm talking stripper heels here. That you have an ankle injury. It's kind of a non sequitur. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Check it out. Here's the next video.
Watch her, but
There's-
I know she
there's
had an active
Paloma's
restraining
husband
order. So when I
videotaping.
knew she was here, I saw her Facebook. I'm like, oh, let me go serve her while I'm here. So she came here for the event and she got kicked out.
Why does her husband doesn't even get to go inside?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But I was here for the restraining order, but
No, our
I'm also
car
watching her.
is.
Yeah,
Already okay, and you're just here to babysit the
I'm watching her. She was disabled,
you
so I'm sitting in the car with them, and she was
record me.
inside. But now she can't go inside because they kicked her out. Yeah. And she hasn't been back inside. So now I'm eating. That's
We
why
just
we're
ordered food.
I just said it's really good. It's not really that good though. It's very
You know
dry.
what's weird? Is that's her husband.
so you know.
That's her husband, and
I
she
was
makes him
too,
stay out here in the
but-
cold, and he doesn't even get to go inside.
We just wanted to see what was going on because we got called about someone wanted to serve.
Yeah, that was
but it was already done
that was
over with.
hours, and they said we're
Why,
not
can you
involved in
serve it?
So I'm like, okay, perfect.
Well, we can notify, but if she says it's already been.
Well,
served,
here, let me
that's-
ask you a
that's
question.
fine,
Okay, so I asked them about it, and they're like, oh, we don't get involved. We don't get involved. That's what they said all night. But the minute they see her,
Oh no, I called.
it's, oh,
Are you
have
Chula
to
Vista
leave.
Police Department?
Yeah.
But
Oh, I called.
Typically, the sheriff's department
Yeah, I should have called the sheriff's
Telling
department.
everybody
But
this.
yeah.
He's
The problem- the
recording.
problem-
set up a thing with them to serve.
Yeah,
but if it's
I'm
not
going
served,
let me ask you a
outside.
question.
Let me
So
outside.
since I think she's been served, so I went in there and I said, are you Paloma, or someone that's running this event? I said, is Paloma here? And they said, yeah, let me go get her. What's your name? What is your
No,
name?
it's her name.
Skyla. I said, what is your name? They asked my name, I gave her my name, and then Paloma comes to the door, and I said, are you Paloma? And she's like, yeah, but she has her hands behind her back, and she already knew probably what it was because she harasses people.
she
So
has
she's
it in her
looking at
hand.
it.
She has it in her hand. That's her, and she has it in her hand. She
So she's
just.
been served?
Yeah.
So basically she didn't take it, so I put it on her feet and walked.
There it is. There's the paperwork. It just
So I just
got.
want to make
it's in
sure
her
she's been
hand.
served, and that's why if not, I'll go back in and reserve her.
So on the bottom of the restraining order, there's
You guys,
there's
she
a
just had
part-
it in her
there's
hand.
a part where you sign saying, "Hey, on this day, this time, I served this person."
Mm-hmm.
You have to file that with the court.
Okay, so let me explain the whole
All right.
video that you just saw. But there's a lot of parts and pieces of this that I want you to listen for. I know there's a lot going on because you see there's 4 people in the car, right? And this little girl who said that Paloma called the cops for no reason. She's also very upset that Jean is standing in front of Mary's car videotaping them. So she's yelling, "Don't videotape me! Don't videotape me!" And as you can hear, the Chula Vista police are talking to the woman that served Paloma. They're not even talking directly to Mary. Mary's sitting there narrating what she's videotaping, which is Jean standing in front of her car filming her.
Yep.
She's also talking about the fact that Jean was outside. Jean did not enter the event. Jean never went inside. For as long as the Lexit event happened, which was, I'm sure, hours, he sat in the vehicle. Now,
You probably didn't have a ticket.
oh, it's possible. I mean, your theory is plausible because she doesn't care about anybody but herself.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even realize she has a husband, you know? Like the person in the car said, she has a husband?
Exactly.
A lot of people have said over time, it's like, yes, she does, and there he is. Guess he does videotaping too, besides driving.
And she likes to make it appear to everyone that she's single and ready for the taking. Yeah. So, of course, your theory that she didn't bring the husband in could be plausible for all of the reasons that you think. But I have a better and more likely reason why he didn't go in, which Mary did not get to explain. And that is, she is paranoid as hell.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Let's think for a moment. What is one of her criminal friends accused of doing? I'm speaking of Mr. Navarro.
Oh, yeah.
What is that stalker who's got a restraining order against him? Several now, in fact. What does he do? What is his MO to stalk his stalkees? He follows them. He tracks them. He put tracking devices on his. He put a tracking device on his ex's car. Okay, and Paloma is nothing if not projection. She is the personification of projection. Whatever she's thinking in her dirty little mind is what she does, what she projects out into the world. And when she leaves her husband in a car at the event, it's so that no one will be able to follow and or track their car.
Oh, okay.
Because she don't want for people to do to her what her and her ilk do to others.
Yep.
It's also the reason why on Mary's court date, she took a taxi. Did you guys notice that? Afterwards, she was, I'm in the taxi. Why were you in the taxi? Because she's paranoid as hell. And if I was doing all of the nasty, evil, horrible things in the world that this woman does on a daily basis, I would be paranoid too. But that's a very much more likely reason as to
that makes sense.
Why she did not take him in. Okay. Now let me tell you that in this audio, you're going to hear the woman who served Paloma asking questions of the police. The way that Paloma tells the story, she had to call the cops to have these people thrown out. The security did not throw them out. Jesse Olguin and the organizers of Lexit asked security to have her leave at the end of the event when the event was done because she dared to try to bring to the attention of one of the founders of Lexit, Jesse Olguin, what the criminal behavior of one of their spokespersons are. Now that's on Jesse Olguin. He doesn't want to hear from Latinos at an event for Latinos, for Trump. That's his problem.
Yep.
That's the problem of the leadership of an organization that likes to threaten and harass people who are conservatives for Trump rather than support them. Because that is exactly what Paloma does. And the police did not threaten arrest. They did not tell her she had to go. In fact, if you listen carefully, you will hear that the woman that served Paloma, as she is sitting there talking to them about what she was doing there, because nobody explained to these cops what they were called for, really.
Yeah.
They were just told there was something going on. So the woman that served Paloma says, here's what really happened. I served Paloma. I went to the back. I asked for her. She describes everything she did and how Paloma put her hands behind her back, right? And refused to accept the paperwork like a pendeja because she doesn't know she was still served.
Yep.
And so the woman says, I put the paperwork at her feet, and she wants to know, is that official service? Did she get them? And right at that moment, like the pendeja for fraud that she is, Paloma walks out of the venue holding the papers she's just been served with so that it can be all captured on video by Mary. Brava! Yeah. Brava, Mary!
Yes.
Well done. Well done. If it hadn't been for the pimp standing in front of you and recording you in a menacing fashion, it wouldn't have even occurred to you probably that you needed to be videotaping that whole thing. So thanks to the pimp and thanks to the pendeja. To both of you. Karma's a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And let me just say, right after that, you hear the officers explaining, oh, wait a minute. You need us to serve her? Do you still? And then Mary says, oh, no, we don't need it. She's got the papers. She's been served. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Because they're saying, well, if you need, we can do it for you. They're explaining to Mary, not getting rid of her, that they could go serve Paloma. That's what they can do. Right?
Yep.
She's talking about, oh, yeah, I should have probably called the sheriff. I could have done that. But then at the very end, they tell her how to make sure that her restraining order is actually filed. At no point will you hear them tell her she's trespassing, she has to leave, she's done anything wrong, that she's harassing anyone. Nothing. You know why? Because up until the point that pendeja came to see, she came to investigate whether or not her stunt had been pulled off.
Yeah.
Was the first and only time that Mary had a direct line of sight with this woman. Other than that, they didn't cross paths. And for all I know, Paloma couldn't see her in the car. So they never saw each other. And this woman Paloma claimed as the whole basis for the restraining order that she took out against Mary in retaliation that she was harassed. How do you harass someone you don't even talk to, you don't even see?
That's right.
During the whole event. It's just one lie after another after another. Listen carefully, folks. Here we go.
Watch her, but
There's-
I know she
there's
had an active
Paloma's
restraining
husband
order.
videotaping.
So when I knew she was here, I saw her Facebook. I'm like, oh, let me go serve her while I'm here. So she came here for the event and she got kicked out.
Why does her husband doesn't even get to go inside?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But I was here for the restraining order, but I'm also watching her. Yeah.
Already okay, and you're just here to babysit.
I'm watching her. She was disabled, so I'm sitting in the car with them, and she was inside. But now she can't go inside because they kicked her out. Yeah. And she hasn't been back inside. So now I'm eating. That's
We just ordered food.
It's not really that good though. It's very.
You know
dry.
what's weird? Is that's her husband.
So you know.
That's her husband, and
I
she
was
makes him
too,
stay out here in the cold, and he doesn't even get to go inside.
We just wanted to see what was going on because we got called about someone wanting to serve.
Yeah, that was hours, and they said we're
Why,
not getting
can you
involved in
serve it?
So I'm like, okay, perfect.
Well, we can notify, but she says it's already been.
Well,
served,
here, let me
that's-
ask you a
that's
question.
fine,
Okay, so I asked them about it, and they're like, oh, we don't get involved. We don't get involved. That's what they said all night. But the minute they see her,
Oh no, I called.
it's,
Are
you
you
have to
Chula Vista
leave.
Police Department?
Yeah.
But
Oh, I called.
Typically, the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I should have called the sheriff's department. But
Everybody
Yeah.
this. He's
The problem- the
recording.
problem-
Set up a thing with them to serve.
Yeah,
them.
I'm
No,
going
let me ask you a
outside.
question.
Walking
So
outside.
since I think she's been served, so I went in there and I said, are you Paloma, or someone that's running this event? I said, is Paloma here? And they said, yeah, let me go get her. What's your name? What is your
No,
name?
it's Carmen.
Skyla. I said, what is your name? They asked my name, I gave her my name, and then Paloma comes to the door, and I said, are you Paloma? And she's like, yeah, but she has her hands behind her back, and she already knew probably what it was because she harasses people.
she
So
has
she's
it in her
looking at
hand.
it.
She has it in her hand. That's her, and she has it in her hand. She
So she's
just
been served?
yeah.
So basically she didn't take it, so I put it on her feet and walked.
There it is. There's the paperwork. It just
So I just
got.
want to make
it's in
sure
her
she's been
hand.
served, and that's fine. Now I'll go back in and reserve her.
So on the bottom of the the restraining order.
You guys, she just had it in her hand.
The part where you sign saying, "Hey, on this day, this time, I served this person." You have to file that with the court.
That's the police officer giving her instructions. What they have to file with the court. Does that sound to you like she was getting admonished for anything?
No, not at all.
No.
They're totally cooperating.
And you see, Paloma's on the phone, right? Do you see while Gene is holding the phone, he quickly puts the phone up to his ear?
Ah, yeah.
Because she called him on the phone. She's like, "Where are you?"
Right here, 10 feet away from you.
So that's what really happened. Now let's look at her ankles. Okay, let's look at the ankles. I want to take a closer look at her footwear at this event. And I don't know, these shoes look incredibly high. So let me see what the event ankle looks like.
Okay, just a second. I'm lost on the...
Well, you went past it a couple of times.
I have to shut this thing off. That's on.
Oh, I see. I don't know why that's up there. How'd that happen? So we'll be looking at these ankles in just a moment, maybe.
Yeah, just a second. There we go.
And here is, if you missed it in the video, the shoes she was wearing. You can see the brace she has on her foot that is supposedly severely injured. And this will be important in the future in other shows I do. So file that away in your brain. Remember, I showed it to you. Let's take an even closer look at this ankle, okay? Look at the size of those heels.
Wow.
Yeah, and you've seen me have injuries.
Yeah, I've never seen you with heels that long. Spikes.
Well, of course, I called them stripper heels because they literally are for pole dancers. Those kinds of shoes, in my opinion. I don't think that people that are injured would wear something like that. It doesn't make sense to me. I call BS on her injury. She might have injured herself, but she wasn't that bad. And I believe that she has been using that injury as part of her excuse for why she can't go to court. So this is important. And remember, it's going to come up again. So file it away. File the ankles away. Here is what the lying Paloma said as she gleefully, this is a video she posted on her page, as she gleefully, as many other times she has done, gone and filed a vindictive restraining order when someone has tried to protect themselves from her harassment. With the comment, she posted the video with the comment, "Yay." Yay. As in, hey, celebrating. The picture of her going to the police station I showed you. Where she's like, "Hi, I'm at the police station filing another vexating restraining order at someone." This is what she does for fun. How many times have you seen her? Remember the one where she looked like the behemoth? The giant Santa Claus shadow video? That was a video of her going to the police station. There's plenty of them. This is just the latest in a series. Listen carefully to her lies.
That type of deal, I can't have that in my life. It's just not safe for me. It's simply not safe. Simply not safe. Simply not safe. Simply not safe. I keep getting threats. I've literally had to call the cops recently to have people literally physically be like, "You gotta go, people, you're gonna be arrested," like that type of deal. I can't have that in my life. It's just not safe for me. It's simply not safe. Simply not safe. Simply not safe. Simply not safe.
Okay.
I keep getting threats.
Just listen.
I've literally had to call the cops recently to have people literally physically be like, "You gotta go, people, you're gonna be arrested," like that type of deal. I can't have that in my life. It's just not safe for me. It's simply not safe. Simply not safe. Simply not safe. Simply not safe.
And she shows her restraining order. You see that?
Yeah.
Do you notice that she shows the restraining order? And she puts, simply not safe. Simply not safe. So she had to go.
I keep getting threats. I've literally had to call.
And that's what it says right there. Paloma for Trump bragging that she filed a bogus restraining order against Mayor Quintanilla in a public video is on social a few days before her court day.
Wow.
I'm receiving so many threats, she says. Where was the threat from Mary attending a Lexit event that she never crossed paths with Paloma in?
Exactly.
Where was the literally physically removing? Did anybody physically touch
No.
Mary? No. You literally had the police say, you have to go, or you're going to get arrested. Did you hear that on the video?
No.
No. But everything that comes out of her mouth is a lie. A lie. Straight out of hell. Okay. Now let's look at the rest of what happened. Here's the restraining order that she took out. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. This is the order requesting a continuance. And here's the next one. In it, it was granted for not only that, Paloma cannot go near Mary or her granddaughter, thank God, but also, and you need to know this because you need to be on the lookout for violations on social media. It says right here on the order that was granted 1 week ago that Ms. Zuniga may not post anything about Mary Quintanilla or her granddaughter or about her family. By post, the court intends that this order cover all social media platforms. When the court says, hey, let me clarify for you, Judge, you are a smart judge that you clarified and said all social media because this pendeja se hace pendeja. So she's going to play stupid. She's going to play the dummy and go, I didn't know that I couldn't do this. She will do it if she can get away with it. She has other restraining orders all over the place and she violates them all the time.
Exactly.
Because she has no respect for the courts, because she has no respect for the truth, because she has no respect for the law. She makes a mockery of our U.S. justice system, but she's a Mexican that doesn't even live here. She makes a mockery out of conservatives. Thank you, Deborah, so much for your support.
Thank you, Deborah.
Stay safe with your niece, she says. I hope that Mary does stay safe with her granddaughter and with everyone in her family because this woman is a complete nuisance that is constantly putting people in these court situations. Here is the order just one more time for you to see. It was granted for 4 months. 4 months. And then Mary has to go back, and at that time, the judge will reevaluate whether this needs to be continued further. So in the time from here until then, keep your eyes peeled. If you see any violations, this woman has a lot of violations of a lot of different orders. Let me just remind you, thank you, Clapback Season, for posting all of these. And who knows, there may be more.
That's right.
But these are just some of the many, many court dates Paloma has had to go to because of this serial, vexating litigation that she loves to do. And speaking about the ankles, I want to go to this next post that someone made on social media about the shoes she was wearing at the courthouse on the day that she went to Mary's court. And It was actually a funnier post about how these are snakeskin shoes, and and she's comfortable in them all the time because she's a snake. But I found that this post by Susan was very insightful and intelligent, and so I wanted to share it with everyone because I think it just rings so true. She says Paloma seems to still have that brace on her left leg. I broke my foot and twisted my ankle a few years ago. I had the big boot on. After the boot was off, I could not put on a shoe for months. I could barely ease my foot into a slipper. It hurt so badly. I had a lot of pain with my foot and ankle. I used crutches and then a cane. It took a long time to get back to normal, but I kept working the entire time. I traveled all over and had a lot of walking to do for my job, and I did it even though it hurt. Flying to New Jersey and going to court will not be any harder on Paloma's leg or ankle than what she's already doing in her life. Not to mention the stripper heels she just wore to the Exit event, everybody.
Exactly.
But she goes on to say here, and I agree, Susan. I agree, Susan. There should be no impediment for her to go to her New Jersey court date, or any other court date she has. She cannot use this ankle as an excuse. But Susan says she's already doing in her everyday life, hoping that she steps up, pardon the pun, and meets her responsibility. I agree. Respect is won by actions, especially the difficult ones. Here, Susan, 1,000%. I agree with everything she says. But of course, we know that it was just an excuse. By the way, she did wear those shoes and the ankle brace to Mary's court. Let me show you some photos taken from the court date that I was not able to share with you previously. Here's one of Gene. He was waiting for her at the court. Also, still wearing the same funny hat. Looks like he got so bored he fell asleep. There he is, falling asleep. He's snoring. Can you hear him snoring?
Yes.
In this next picture, there was a recess called, and I'm going to share some information with you about what occurred. Let's hold off on this picture just 1 second more while I tell you a little bit about what was going on in the courtroom. Gene goes in with her, and they asked him whether he was going to be a witness in the case. And Paloma, I think to her own detriment, as she would even agree, made the choice of saying yes, when in fact she really didn't need him to testify to anything. The only thing that he testified to was that he was really married to her.
Okay.
That he's been married for 12 years. The judge made him swear, are you the husband? Yes. Are you really married to her? Yes. Now get the hell out of my courtroom. And because he was a witness, he couldn't be in there listening to everything else that was going on. So he had to sit his butt outside of the courtroom the entire time while Paloma, for Trump, who is notoriously airheaded and desperately depends on Gene to give her the right words and to help her with everything in her life, was on her own, desperate, trying to figure out what to do and say because she didn't have Gene with her. Secondly, let me share with you that rather than address the fact that she, has been accused of harassing Mary, she went into a tirade about my show and all of the people that have come on my show to expose what they have been victims of, whether that be extortion, fraud, whatever. And the judge was intrigued. He was like, what radio show is this? So she turned on the judge to my show. Hi, Judge. I hope you're watching. I hope you're watching all of the videos of Paloma. There's so much evidence against her. From her own mouth, by the way, Judge. Hope you're watching. Nice to have new followers and listeners. Thank you, Paloma. And of course, he wanted to know more about this show because she was claiming that Mary pays us to do the yes. Let me explain something to you, Paloma. I don't think she understands how nonprofit organizations or businesses in general work. People donating to our work or sponsoring our work is not us being paid to do shows about you.
Exactly.
Nobody has controlled the tone, the topic, or the tenor of any of my shows as long as I have been reporting. And in fact, the story of why I became a broadcaster running a nonprofit so that I could do independent journalism is that as a reporter, previously for my brother's newspaper and editor-in-chief, and as someone that had worked in the media, in radio and television before, I did not want to be censored and I did not want to be told what I could say, how I could say it. So I started my own platform so that I would not ever have anybody telling me what I could or could not do. So, first of all, her claim that Mary is paying me, and of course, so is Oscar, so is Anthony, so is Fabiana, so is Michael. Any person that she has victimized and had a slap lawsuit against, a vindictive restraining order against, is paying for me. They're supporting me. To all of those people out there, I say keep fighting and never let this woman shut you up. And to the victims that still remain in the shadows and in silence, I respect you. I respect the fact that you don't want to come forward. I know how vexing this woman is. I know how parasitic and sick she is. And I understand why you want to stay in the shadows, but you know you're not alone. You know you have support. You know that there is a whole system now, a whole group of people that have been victimized by these two individuals, because Jean is her partner in crime in all of this. And you don't deserve it. You absolutely do not deserve it. Thankfully, the judge did not just listen to the BS. He checked it out. And Mary, at one point, countered saying that, Paloma had made a video. Because the judge also asked about how many followers we have. And Paloma apparently told the judge that we actually don't have hardly any followers, but that when we talk about her, that's when we have followers.
I see. They come and go, yeah. And numbers go up, numbers go down.
What is it? Am I this damaging threat? Is my show this damaging threat to you because it exposes you to thousands and millions of people? Or do we have no followers and nobody listens to what we say?
Exactly.
Which is it? She doesn't even know. She can't even defend herself adequately because she doesn't even know. She's cuckoo in the head. So then Mary, of course, tells the judge that she made a video threatening the people taking her to court, meaning her and one of the witnesses that was at court, Alexa, who's been interviewed by me on this show many times, probably will be again. Paloma does a video directed at the women taking her to court, she says on the video. And she makes a lot of rambling, ranting, crazy statements, including the fact that, you know, that stalking audio that you heard on that woman's show where she's laughing and saying, I'm stalking these effing bitches. Well, guess what? The women she was stalking were lucky she didn't stab them, because she could have done a lot more harm. And the judge, of course, was very intrigued. He was like, I want to hear that. So they bring the video into the courtroom for the judge to see. And he sat there, eyes bulging, just, what in the hell am I seeing now? He had more questions after watching the video. But of course, he saw the crazy. It only took that one video for him to go, oh my God. Will the real crazy person please stand up? Yes. Because he could see for himself. She's put on a video to threaten Mary Tando before her court date and the witness she was going to have with her. And in the video, she talks about stabbing her victims. And of course, the judge angrily asked her about that and then slapped her with the restraining order for 4 months. So what happened at Mary's court? Well, at this point, Paloma says, because she comes up with endless lies about what harm Mary did to her. Paloma says, Mary lied in my show and said damaging things, very damaging things, and claimed that Mary called her a pedophile. And the judge was like, hold on. If that's true, I need you to get me that evidence. And if that's the case, if this is true, what you're saying that Mary did to you, I'm going to dismiss this restraining order and we go about the rest of our day. So they held a recess. And this is the picture of Mary waiting outside. You see the bailiff kind of watching over her. And then this next picture. Nope. Did you see a Jean coming up the what's it called? Escalator?
Yep.
You see Jean coming up the escalator, and one of the witnesses that was at the court saw him coming up the escalator and videotaping Mary. As he's coming up all the way to the top of the escalator, as you notice, there was a bailiff in the previous picture there. He turns the phone sideways so that it appears that he's talking on the phone and not videotaping Mary. And here's the next photo. You can see him pretending to talk on the phone, but he was actually videotaping Mary as he was coming up the escalator. And then he turned his phone sideways as he gets to the top, because of course, people that are there as witnesses and that were in the court have complained to the bailiff and complained to the judge that Paloma and her husband both love to video record and audio record people. And the bailiff told them, don't do that here. Okay? Don't do that here. Here's another picture from the court. So we have all of the venues in which people were heard that day. And as they're waiting, out comes Paloma, okay? Out comes Paloma from the courtroom with instructions from the judge. She needs to get that video. She needs to find the video of my show interviewing Mary and show the judge where. Yeah. Where did Mary say that she's a pedophile? Because, of course, she made it up. Yep. It never happened. And you see her walking out of the courtroom holding up her laptop as she's walking down the hallway. At this point, Duke, when she walked out of the courtroom, you see Jean there off to the side, also looking on his phone. She tells him, I have to find the part of the video where she called me a pedophile.
Wow.
This was overheard by one of the witnesses that was in the hallway. And in the next photo, you see her still walking down the hallway, and you can see she's watching my show in the courtroom, in the courthouse, on the laptop.
Oh, boy.
You see that on her screen?
Another view.
It's another view, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's another one where she's sitting next to Jean, still looking. You can see Mary Quintanilla is on the screen. This is from the show where she's doing the interview, and Paloma's got this...
she has no headphones, so she just has it pressed against her head.
Yeah, she's literally got it pressed against her. And Jean, at the same time, is furiously looking for both. Something that neither of them are going to find because it doesn't exist. This is how delusional and sick these people are. They held up the court for a long time.
Yeah.
For no reason. Just like they called the cops. For no reason. They waste the time of the court. They waste the time of their victims. They're retaliatory, cruel, and just simply ridiculous. Here's another picture. You can clearly see on the laptop that Mary Quintanilla is there, and she's looking for something that does not exist.
Exactly.
In this next picture, you can see both of them looking on their phones. Here's the next one. Jean is still looking diligently on their phone. So I want you to hear some of the audios that were recorded by some witnesses in the courthouse. Let's listen to the first audio. And you're going to hear this voice in Spanish. I'm going to let it play all the way through. Okay. And then I'm going to have you play it again and pause it while I translate because it is in Spanish. Here we go.
Here we go.
Pero, ¿y no quieres saber nada?
¿Qué le estoy diciendo? Pero por visto de que dice de ti, que ella empezó a hablar de ti, él lo debió haber entendido.
No, porque le ponen cosas que yo que soy agresiva, pero es que usan las otras, ¿me entiendes?
Oye, ustedes son una bola de piedras que te fueron pasadores. ¿Se ilustraron?
Okay. So in this audio, for those of you who understand Spanish, hopefully you can hear that. And we're going to play it again, and I'm going to break it down. It's hard to hear, but you can hear Jean is pissed. They were so mad that this restraining order was granted and that it was not dismissed. He is livid. He is livid. So you can hear the anger in his voice. If you don't understand Spanish, you can understand tone, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could tell. He is angry, rabid. And he's saying that it should have been dismissed because the person that talked first was Mary. But going on a radio show at my request to expose the lies of this lying liar is not harassment. It is free speech and it is her right. And that is also something that the judge said at the end of the hearing. That it is free speech and it is your right to exercise your free speech. Mary has the right to expose her experience, what happened to her, with this woman, and she will continue to do so. The court upheld her rights and also gave her a protection order from this horrible, crazy woman. And rightfully so. And you're going to hear him angry that the fact that Mary spoke first, that she spoke at all, should have been enough for this judge to dismiss the charges. Let's listen. Get ready to pause, Duke. Right there, she says, pinche vieja loca. Did you guys hear that? There's a lot of the stuff in the very beginning I couldn't pinpoint, but right there, she says, pinche vieja loca. She's talking about Mary. Excuse my language. I'm just repeating what she said so that you could hear it. Go on. Ella empezó a hablar de ti, he says. She was the one to talk about you first. And pinche vieja loca, because they're talking about Mary, is effing crazy lady. That is how they referred to her. That's how at a court for a restraining order against her, that is how Paloma expressed herself about Mary. Go on. Can you rewind it a little bit? More. Then he says, él lo debió haber dismissed. He uses the word dismissed in English. Okay, they're talking about he wanted this to be dismissed and it didn't work out for them. And she's like, no. Meaning, no, they didn't grant, what she wanted, which is that they dismissed it because they put other things in. She's talking about Mary and the witness having pulled evidence to the court's attention that, quote unquote, put other things in. You know what those other things were. It was Paloma's mouth and her video talking about how she was going to stab her stalking victims. Mm-hmm. That's what they put in. She's saying they said that I'm aggressive and they put the other ones in. The other cases is what she's talking about. The other cases of harassment and restraining orders against her. That's what she's complaining about. Go on. Usan las otras. ¿Me entiendes? They used the others, the other cases. And yes, indeed, Mary did. Mary told the judge because Paloma lied in court, right to the judge's face. He said, do you have any other restraining orders against you? Do you have any other complaints of harassment and stalking against you? And she said, nope. So Mary Tando Quintanilla started naming off her other victims and told the judge, a lot of these things have been filed in California courts. You can look them up yourself, Your Honor. And he wrote them down. And then she had to correct herself on her lie and tell the judge, I'm a lying liar. Guess what? I do have them, but they're temporary, she said. It's still a restraining order. You still lied to the judge. And yes, that information is supposed to be something that you tell the judge. You need to come clean about all the restraining orders that you have against you to the judge because he specifically asked you, you liar. ¿No le dijiste que son una bola de viejas que se juntan? He says, didn't you tell him that it's a bunch of basically wenches who got together. So now he's asking, like, did you stick with the story we had planned? That you're the victim of all of this whole mob, this whole group of people. Did you tell him about that? And he says basically in the rest of this that that basically take turns harassing her and threatening her. Go ahead. Taking turns. Did you hear him say that?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's talking about. These people, this mob of people that are harassing you, and they basically are taking turns. Okay. Let's go to the next audio. Of course, I'm sure Paloma will tell everyone, I can't translate and I change things. But for those of you who speak Spanish and understand what I just shared with you, heard with your own ears, you know she's full of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know she's full of it. Thank you so much. Who's our latest supporter, Duke? Supporters of the show.
Oh, thank you.
From the bottom of my heart.
Local girl.
Thank you so much.
Buy Duke some pants.
That's right.
Hashtag
get some pants for Duke. We are going to get on that. Just need a few more donations and we will pants him up.
Uh-huh.
Although I think he looks cute in the shorts. Okay, here's our next audio. In this next audio, you're going to hear her, she's licking her wounds. They're licking their wounds. They're angry that they had this loss. Very angry. Paloma was leaping up and down in the courtroom telling the judge, you can't put no restraining order on me. I got to get to the White House. Blah, blah, blah. Talking about her celebrity and her importance, and she's a representative and she's an ambassador for Lexit. You ain't no ambassador for nothing. And they should call you stomach hands, because everything you touch turns to crap. Everything you even get close to turns to crap. So she's using this as an excuse and talking about all of this, and it backfires on her. The judge doesn't care. The judge listens to her craziness, and the judge put a restraining order on her. And he even gave her enough time to go and find this video where Mary calls her a pedophile, all to no avail. And so they're outside now.
Yep.
She's licking her wounds. What is the only thing that she has to look forward to? Why, that restraining order that she vindictively and with false pretenses took out against Mary, which she intends to serve her right after court. So that's what she's talking about in this audio you're about to hear. And you will hear her say Los Angeles, because one of the things that she is so gleeful about is that she knows where Mary lives in San Diego, and she knows that it would be out of her way to have to go to Los Angeles. So she took it out in Los Angeles, which is why she pauses for effect and says, well, doesn't matter. I'm taking her to court too. Tit for tat. And she's going to get a restraining put on her today. She's going to leave here with a restraining. She is terrified of me, she says. She me tiene pavor. Listen for the word pavor. It means, Google it. Me tiene pavor, she says. She is terrified of me, and she's going to get a restraining order today. And it's from Los Angeles, she adds. Take a listen.
Porque pues, el güey quiere que nos hagamos en paz. No, pues ella también, güey. Y yo también voy a presentar todo. Lo que ella presente, yo presento. Porque es que tiene pavor
God. Oh my God. The comments on our show tonight are cracking me up.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are so... Listen to this one, Duke.
Mm-hmm.
It says, she's just jealous because her pimp doesn't have nice legs like Duke.
Well, thank you.
I agree. I think she is jealous because, oh my God, Duke has got legs for days.
Thank you.
For days. Ever since I met this man, I'm like, I feel like I want to climb that tree. Get me to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous legs he has. Yes. Let's listen now, piece by piece, and then I'm going to translate what she is saying. Okay, here we go.
All right.
I couldn't hear the last word she used. Now she's talking about the judge, and she says, Él quiere que nos estemos en paz. He wants us both to be at peace.
I see, yes.
Like he wants this to be knocked off, basically. And then he's like, no, I mean, she will too. She will too, she says. Va a salir de aquí con una restraining order. She's going to leave here with a restraining order. In Los Angeles. Listen to this very last part. She's talking to someone else on the phone, okay? And she says, I'm still here at the courthouse waiting to serve Mary. Rewind it a little bit so you can hear. Right there. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. I'm still here. I'm waiting. I'm still at the courthouse. I'm still at the court. I'm waiting for her. I'm waiting for her to come out so she can be served. So her only saving grace of the day was this retaliatory service of this restraining order that she took out, bogus restraining order that she took out to retaliate against Mary for having the audacity to defend her family, for having the audacity to share the truth and to share the hope that she did for so many people that have felt isolated and alone as victims of this horrible woman, and getting a restraining order to stop her. That's what Mary did. And for having the audacity to do all of that, this woman took out a bogus restraining order against her. And she is practically gushing about it. Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you that the witness that was at the courthouse said that she was dancing around in her chair. She wanted to serve that restraining order bad. Mm-hmm. She was worried. She was worried about whether or not she was going to be able to file that restraining, give her the restraining order to her. And the witness told me they saw her talking to a bailiff about serving the restraining order. And Jean, referring to Mary, said that she was acting all dramatic and crazy. That Mary was acting, And what the witness saw was that the bailiff was watching Paloma, that he noticed her erratic, crazy behavior, and he told her, you sit down, I and Jean will serve this restraining order. And he put her in her place, and he told her she couldn't be involved. She wanted to. She was like squirming around in her chair. Oh, I want to go do it. And they gave her an estatus quietos. Bailiff said, nope, you sit down right here. She was watching from afar, trying to crook her neck so she could see the action happening over there. So they go and they serve her, right? Listen to this next audio in which she was trying to once again, she was trying to victimize herself, that she was so terrified. I can't feel safe with Mary around me. Where do I go? You know, and she's talking to, she had just been overheard by one of these witnesses in the court telling the bailiff that she needed a police escort out of the building.
Oh, really?
For her safety. And basically she was told no. No cuckoo.
Yeah.
No. And here you're going to hear the end of that conversation where the bailiff is just basically telling her, she went down the elevator. Why don't you take the back door and stop being a cuckoo? Well, he doesn't say that to her, but he basically just tells her, yeah, she's going down the elevator. You take this other way out. And she still tries to embellish. Oh, that's yes, because, you know, if she runs into me, she's going to say that I violated her restraining order. Yes, because you're a stalker. So just stay out of this woman's life and stay off of social media attacking her and her granddaughter, and things should be fine. You think she can do it?
No.
How many of you out there thinks she can do it for the next 4 months? Keeping her lip zip, staying off social media, ranting about Mary and her granddaughter. Do you think she has the self-control and the wherewithal to keep herself out of trouble? No.
No.
Hell to the no. Listen for yourselves. I don't think I got to translate this one. Here we go.
Violations and stuff like that. Like say she doesn't show up and she says she's a violation, just goes away. But if she shows, you have to show up. Yeah, because you want to make sure if she's going to try to go forward.
That's what I was saying. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Can you tell me when they leave?
They left already.
Oh, okay.
She went down the elevator.
Okay, because right now she's claiming a violation.
She went down the elevator, so we want to go down the escalator here, or if you want to leave a different way, go to the next floor up here, go one floor up, and then go across the building and just lean out that building. This way you don't need.
He's like, yeah, go up one flight.
Yeah, and jump.
And then take a long walk off a short pier.
Exactly.
Bye. Yeah. Now this witness talk about dolls. I'm not going to play the audio because that where they are discussing the dolls, because it's so loud.
Oh, okay.
It is. Well, play some of it. It's very, very hard to hear. You're going to hear for yourself. There's a bunch of noise. There's people talking in the hallway.
Okay, we'll try it.
And it's so loud that it's almost impossible to distinguish all the different voices. But you do hear in the middle of this talk, you hear Paloma say, muñecos. She's talking about dolls.
Okay.
See if you can hear it. Good luck.
All right, man, good luck to you. Here you go. It's all set. You guys are very welcome. Any questions, just let me know. Shoot me an email. I'll be here. How should it not be?
We have Celia next.
What's that?
We have Celia next.
Los muñecos. Pause and rewind it a little bit. Right there. Now listen. Listen for los muñecos. Listen. Right there. Now the reason this witness was so disturbed was because when they heard this person talking about the dolls, she said, this is so sinister. She said it in a voice. You hear them whispering? You hear her husband whispering?
Mm-hmm.
She sounds sinister. And that is exactly what the witness reported, that this conversation sounded evil. Evil. They're like, it was evil. It freaked me out. So, the other thing that was overheard was a conversation Paloma was having on the phone. And guess what the conversation was about? It was about Robert Herrera, otherwise known as Legal Latino Heat.
Okay.
A man that she has been obsessed with and that she has been stalking for years. When she talks about women that can't get over being dumped, she's talking about herself, once again projecting the love lost. And she was doing this, she was having a conversation about Robert Herrera while sitting next to her pimp. He was just sitting there listening to his wife talk about how she had a dream about Robert Herrera last night and they were in love with each other and he was in love with her. And she was dreaming about him. Oh, this is what this woman is talking about at a courthouse where a woman named Mary Tando Quintanilla had to take out a restraining order against her because she is an obsessed stalker, because she is an obsessive harasser. And what is she doing? Obsessing about her victim, Robert Herrera, legal Latino. She's doing it right there in the court. And she's talking about how she still has dreams about how he loves her and how they love each other. This is the sickness, the pathetic sickness that lives in this woman's brain. She cannot control herself. This is compulsive behavior, in my opinion, because she does not have the restraint to stop this type of harassment. Your thoughts, my love?
Oh, I think she's like totally batty.
You think she can control herself for 4 months?
No. She can't. For the other orders that are out that she's not supposed to talk about people, she does. She might change a few letters in their name, act like, oh, I'm not talking about the person I'm not supposed to talk about. You know, she's used to violating those orders because she thinks that the law can't touch her. Now, the thing is that this is in California. It's in a place real close to her home. She crosses that border a lot. She doesn't give a rip if it's on the East Coast or Florida or anywhere else. But there, it's going to have a direct impact on her. So I still think she's going to screw it up.
And by the way,
I can't see her not saying anything.
Oh, no, she's going to totally screw it up. She cannot control herself. By the way, this is a man that she was stalking that while she was friends with Mary, while she was at Mary's house. In fact, this guy was so sick of her, so disgusted with her. He didn't want to take or receive any calls from her any which way. But in her obsession, she would take other people's accounts, other people's devices, other people's telephones. You know how she stalks by proxy? Mm-hmm. When people take out restraining orders against her and she is stopped from harassing them, like in the case of Michael Shapiro or Fabiana Baldo or many of her other victims, what does she do? She finds someone else to go and look. She finds someone else to go and stalk. She does it under false pretenses. She does it whatever she has to say, whatever lie she has to give, what she does it. She don't care because she's going to do what she wants. She's got to get her stalking on. And she did use Mary's device to contact Robert. And then proceeded to send message after message to Mary, trying to figure out, did Robert ever call you? Did Robert ever respond? Because she used Mary's account to do it. Hi, Mary. How are you? Did Robert ever reply? I've been thinking about that. I know you have, stalker. And then again, the very next day, hi, Mary. I'm obsessed. How are you? Did Robert ever reply? I've been thinking about that. And then the next, couple of days, in January, hi, Mary. I'm wondering if Robert ever replied. Could you please look?
Yeah.
And what is she doing at the court? I just had a dream about Robert.
Oh, my God.
I'm still obsessed with him. Because she is cuckoo in the brain. Mm-hmm. She is cuckoo in the brain. Now, I'm just going to give you a sneak peek preview of my second show. Remember, I'm going to do 2 more shows about this.
Oh, yeah.
That's how much material I have on this crazy liar. On this lying liar. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to show you every little bit of it. Some people are like, Cindy, why do you take so much time to cover all of the details? One, because I'm in investigative journalism and I bring it all to you. I present it. Also, I have a background as a paralegal and I don't really know how to do things any other way than to go step by step and present every bit of evidence for you to evaluate. That's how I do. Those of you who know me, those of you who love me, those of you who hate me, those of you who watch me, even in the courtroom, that's how I do it. I have the receipts for everything. So I'm going to break down every bit of her lies. And this is why I do it. Because I want you to look at the mountain of evidence over months that I have compiled, hundreds of hours of shows that I have done, showing you every audio, every picture, every inconsistency, every lie, so that you can make an informed decision about who this woman really is. Here is a sneak peek of what I'm going to break down, because I'm going to show you how bogus her restraining order is against Mary. Not just bogus, but, insane. Lunatic, insane. So this is one of the past restraining orders that she has taken out. Notice the address that she used, because she lies about everything. I don't even know if that woman's name is Paloma Zuniga. That is how much she lies. She lies about everything. She files these frivolous lawsuits against people to try to retaliate against them for trying to protect themselves from her. And she uses fake addresses. Check out what this address is. Let's look at it. It's a CVS pharmacy, honey. She used the address of a strip mall CVS pharmacy. Look at the address. I just put it into the Google machine. 8000 Sunset Boulevard. Here's the one that she took out for Mary right now. This is the new restraining order that she took out against Mary, that she handed to her at the court, or that she had the bailiff hand to Mary at the courthouse when Mary went to court and actually got a real restraining order against her. And it has 1335 North La Brea Avenue. Where does that go? Let's take a look at the address from the street view. Nope. We're missing one here.
Well, that's her P.O. box. That's the P.O. box address.
That's the P.O. box address that you checked into, that she used on her voter registration, Duke. You recognize that address?
I do. I recognize it.
It's the post office box place that we showed you in the past. She used a fake address again. She used that exact address. If you go to the voter registration website where you verify if somebody registered to vote like Duke and I did, and you type in that exact address, this one right here, that's the one she used to register to vote, which is illegal. And she also used this fake address to file a restraining order in Los Angeles rather than San Diego, where the person actually lives, just to be just that much of a pisser, just to be that much more of a jerk. And then she bragged about it in the audio you just heard in Spanish after she lost. As a way of licking her wounds. Yeah, but I'm going to serve her she's not leaving out here unscathed. I'm going to serve her with my restraining order from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And we got it all on audio. Hopefully Mary is watching so that she can give all of that information to the judge when they go to court and show the judge she is a lying liar. She's lying about everything. Let me show you what it says on part of her thing. She said she has residency in LA County.
At the moment.
At the moment. In my brain. In my psychotic mind, I invented a place where I live. It's my happy place, and I'm going to call it LA County at the moment.
Yep.
What did she say was her relationship to the party? An acquaintance. She told Mary during the time she became viral at the border in Tijuana for talking about the caravans that she was so scared she couldn't go home. She couldn't go to her house because of all of the following and all the people. She was staying at Mary's house. She was staying with Mary. She stayed there over Christmas. She traveled to events with her. She took her to Los Angeles. She took her to Las Vegas. She took her to concerts. She babysat in Mary's house for her granddaughter. And you're going to say she's an acquaintance?
Yeah.
Let me look at that piece of paper again. She's an acquaintance. What? Through politics?
Through politics.
Do you have an acquaintance through politics as someone that literally is staying at your house? Mary watched her dogs for her. Mary took her to concerts. Mary took her to a Trump rally in Las Vegas.
An acquaintance, yep.
An acquaintance through. You wish it was through politics.
Yeah.
You can't even string a sentence together, pendeja. What do you mean? You want to prop yourself up as having something to do with politics? You don't have nothing to do with nothing. She crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, let me just show you here the craziness in which she claims, once again, she did it in the courtroom. It got her nowhere, but she did it to get her bogus restraining order too. She says right here, in case you didn't believe me, that she brought up this nonsense about paid radio shows.
Yeah.
First of all, she talks about her ankle right at the top. I majorly injured my ankle in December 2019. And knowing this, she caused a scene. She's talking about Mary. She says Mary caused a scene at the event that she was speaking at in order to re-injure her ankle.
Oh my
She's
God.
blaming Mary for her stripper shoes and her injury.
Yeah.
I majorly injured my ankle in December. You saw the video, folks. Does she look like she's majorly injured in those stripper heels?
No.
She just lies because her mouth can open and close, because she can flap it. That's the only reason. She does it. It means nothing to her to just lie about everything. She caused a scene, she says. The cops came, and I had to be standing for what? 2 hours and re-injured myself at the event. Well, nobody told you to stand up the whole time on your stripper shoes, pendeja.
Exactly.
And then she lies about what Mary is doing to her, saying that Mary is paying our salaries to produce these shows and investigate her fraudulent and lying behavior. She says she has paid radio shows to have her on them and slander me and defame me because I am a public figure, and she cannot find another way to stop me from my work. Your work. You told another judge in another court that you were unemployed. Jobless. She's just a lying liar, but don't take my word for it. Listen to her own disdain for the court system, for the courts, and for the people that she harasses. here she is, in her own words, in a video she did a while back, bragging to the victims of her harassment and stalking that, you know what? She's not going to show up for court. Now, and oh, by the way, now that she's learned that these people have taken action against her to get a restraining order to stop her from stalking them, she's learned some things about techniques and tactics that she can use too. But nope, she's not going to show up at your court. She's not going. And, you know, too bad for you, because nobody makes her do anything. She does what she wants. This is the disdain that she has for law, for order, and for the victims of her crimes. Listen for yourselves. She's pretty brazen.
Thought I was going to news for those of you who thought I was going to the East Coast next week. I'm not going to. I won't be able to. Sorry. Won't be able to. I won't be able to go. And I'll also, since now I'm learning how the legal system is being used, which should totally be against the law, the way people use it, I'm also learning a few things. And, but yeah, I won't be going to the East Coast next week. I won't be going to the East Coast next week, because I don't do what people, not the courts, but I don't do what people say. I do what I do what I want, I do what I say.
She almost tripped herself up because she was going to say, she said, I do what I want, not the courts. Yes, you violate the courts all the time. You have violations now, which is why you have a warrant, and which is why you are required to go straight to jail, no bailing out, and straight to the manicomio, straight to the evaluation of psychiatrics, because you're cuckoo in the head. And you're very, very pendeja if you think that you're going to get away with snubbing your nose at law and order and at our American legal system. Just because you live in Tijuana and flout the law all the time and brag about the fact that you don't have to follow the law because you're not in the United States doesn't mean you can keep getting away with this nonsense forever. Don't forget, this is America. And by the way, a big shout out to all of the producers of music and arts and cartoons and all the fantastic stuff that people have been sending me. I really appreciated this last song. It was really written like it was made for my show.
Exactly.
So, DJ Fat Gut for Fraud, mwah! Thank you so much for this gem. And thanks to all of you for watching tonight and sharing this important public announcement. This is a public service announcement for anybody that has been victimized by this lying liar Paloma for Trump, Paloma Zuniga. Thanks for being with us here on A Mexican Crossing Lines with your hosts, Cindy Gomez-Schempp
and Duke Gomez-Schempp.
You've been listening to 88.1 FM, KPPPLP, Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. Take it away, DJ Fat Gut.